Hello everyone and welcome to Daria Draws. Today I'm going to demonstrate how you can make a portrait using only the color contrast and not worry about the values too much, so that you can have a very vibrant and bright artwork, and just it's a faster way also to get the color onto the canvas. If that sounds like something you would be interested in, just keep watching the video. I'm starting off by briefly sketching the portrait. I'm going to work on a portrait of a girl from the back. It's an actual person I saw a few months ago and I never saw their face, so I can only imagine what they might have looked like. But I did catch the overall dress and the hairstyle, so that is what I'm going to be depicting today. And as you can see, I'm straight away going in with a mixture of orangey, fleshy tone, and I'm not really trying to separate the shadows from the lights too much. It's just going to be an overall color block. Of course, you have to keep in mind that if you are painting a portrait of someone from the front, the cheeks, the nose, the ears, and of course the lips tend to be just a little bit redder than the rest of the face. And most of the cooler tones are in the temples and in the lower half of the face. So the hair is also kind of just done in one block. I'm just kind of assigning the colors for each of the areas. I'm roughly resketching the hairstyle just so that I don't lose the overall silhouette, and of course, I'm adding all of the detail onto the dress. Well, it's not exactly a detail at this point, it's just a map of the pattern. But if you, of course, don't have a pattern, you can just, again, assign the color to that area. I decided to go with a vibrant green that is also darker than the face and the hair, so that the model kind of stands out against the background, and it kind of adds to that summery feel with the dress and everything. I'm also adding some of those cooler tones into the skin, and that is what is going to make our portrait a little more three-dimensional. Otherwise, everything would just stay very flat. The main point here is to use the cold against the warm, and of course if we're not going insanely dark with insanely light, you will have to compensate that contrast somewhere, and just using the cooler tones with the warmer tones just does that perfectly. Of course, you don't have to go into extremes as well. You can have a very muted color scheme, but it's just that play on the nuances. With works like this, I like to use a little bit of that outline. I'm using a warmer, a reddish brown, like Mars, for instance, or a mixture of red with non-dye brown or something like that. I'm just a fan of outline. If you're not, of course, you can simply not do that. Adding the background color into the model or into the figure is quite important in my opinion, because it just ties everything up together very nicely, and you also get to have that shadow just by using the background color. So it's very simple. You don't have to think too much about mixing a lot of colors. You just need 2 to 3 base colors, and then you can mix them up together. The only way I am going to add just a little bit of darkness is by using the glazing. I'm going in with a warm brown, just like I did with the outlines, so that everything matches up nicely. And I'm just putting a bit of glaze into the hair where I want to push the forms back a little bit, and the face, since it is turned away from the source of light. But glazing is a very gentle way of applying the shadow and pushing the forms back, because you can still see all the previous layers and all the previous work that you have done, and it just kind of mutes it down a little bit. In my case, the most detail was going to be in the hair and the ear and a little bit in the dress. So I did have to make sure that the ear was done in the correct position, and the hair had volume, so that the skull that's underneath the hair looked believable and had this dimension. I also prefer adding the highlights somewhere in the middle of the process. Don't leave that until the end, because it can get very overwhelming if you add something that is way too bright and doesn't go with the rest of the artwork. So at least this way you have a chance of getting things fixed. Of course, there is still some contrast in terms of values that's going on. It's kind of inevitable, and it's actually a good thing, but we didn't spend so much time just carving all of those shadows out, and instead they appeared in a little more natural and a spread out way. I would suggest this method in more natural lighting, maybe not more like outdoor kind of light source, but if you have a lamp, I would probably go for the classical carving out the values sort of thing. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and leave an encouraging comment. You can also subscribe to my channel to stay tuned for more upcoming videos, or watch some of those over here. And I'll see you in the next one.